Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die, they stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for supports if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye. All right, all right. Welcome back to Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is March 25th, 2025. Let's put 10 minutes on the clock and do a LUNC-LUNA and Luna 2.0 or Luna Classic video here or whatever you want to call it. All right, we're green a little bit here, 0.01, but okay, and now we're neutral. Okay, so we're going back and forth here. Are the tariffs on or off? We don't know. Once again, Trump is indecisive on the things that he says. He'll go up there and say, "We're going to get rich off of something," and then the next day, we got to take that off. Um, he did this in the first 4 years. He did the same thing. And I thought we had learned a lesson to not do that because it really messes up the markets and messes up other countries when we keep changing our minds on things that we come out so strict on it. We're gonna do that, and then we a couple days, we're just gonna ease off on it. It's like, what are we doing, right? So stick with a plan and do it, right? And he, for some reason, he can't. It's almost like that says that's what they told him to do, because he did it in the first term and it was annoying to so many people, and now he's doing it again. It's like, man, he can't stick to one thing. Like he keeps changing his mind, and now people are calling him bipolar because of it, saying that it's some type of bipolar disorder or something like that. I don't know what it is. It's just he just doesn't stick with what he says. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure if that, I'm not going to call the man bipolar. I'm just going to say that it's really harmful to the markets and to investments and the countries out there when you say something and you keep changing your mind every other day. It's really weird. It's almost as if that's what they told him to do. That's what his thing would be. His ritual would be to change his mind all the time, right? We see other people have and people and politicians in Hollywood and famous people, they have their own different things that they do. It seems like Donald Trump's thing is being undecisive. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. We got to pray that out of him. If that's what they're actually telling him to do, to be undecisive, to keep the markets unbalanced, and to keep people off guard and not be able to relax under his presidency, we need to pray that off of him immediately, right? Um, okay, so that's what we're doing now. We don't every single day we don't know what's going to happen because we don't know what Trump's going to say, and that puts people at unrest. People can't get no rest because they have no clue what the president of the United States is going to say one day to the next, right? That could destroy the markets or could help the markets, right? So, um, and this is why buying power is so important. We come back to buying power, so that you don't have to even worry about nothing like that, right? Having multiple streams of income and having buying power keeps you from having the restless nights on what the president's going to do to you, right? Especially if you're a government worker or you're working in private sectors or whatever, or any other federal government sectors and stuff. You have no clue what Donald Trump's going to say the next day. You could be out of a job tomorrow, right? So, you know, um, yeah, we don't need them anymore. Get rid of all of them. We don't need aviation anymore. We'll do something else. We'll put robots in there. He's like, oh my God, no, you know. And now you got to come back to your wife with no job and like, what am I going to do the rest of my life, right? So it is really stressful to have President Donald Trump with this undecisiveness and having a mouth that he could just blurt out anything, eh? And then the next couple of days, oh, just kidding about aviation. We need those people. And you're like, oh my God. So it is kind of stressful. I get it, but that's why having multiple streams of income and buying power is key. I told you guys that for years. I said you're going to need it. You're going to wish you had buying power in the future when all of these things are happening and we're going into the new system. You're going to regret not having buying power in multiple streams of income because a lot of jobs are going to be lost. A lot of people are going to be destroyed by them destroying the old system, and we're entering to a new system. You're going to regret not having buying power. And I even said a lot of these communities out here that are not doing anything and not burning their tokens and not creating buying power and not creating value to their tokens are going to regret it once we get to this point here, and their tokens are just dead, right? So hopefully we can revive some of these tokens with buying power or just the markets itself, and maybe Trump can say something to boost the markets up as well. But hoping and not taking action is crazy, right? So take action today, right? And get it done. Get a group of people together. Maybe if you got 20 people in your family, 30 people in your family, tell them what you're trying to do. Hey, I'm trying to create buying power. I need funds. I need funds. And get these funds in with your family members and create the buying power and put it into something, create buying power, and get a nice, maybe get into some liquidity pools and get some 50 to 100% APR and get some buying power going, and do it with your family, man, and to protect them, man. You got to do something, man. You can't just sit here and allow the markets and allow the world to destroy you. Don't do that to yourself, and don't do that to your family, right? All right. 5.44 trillion circling supply there, because people will literally entertain you while you're being destroyed, and that is just the awfulest thing to do, is to be knowing that you're being destroyed and yet you're being entertained at the same time. That's an awful feeling, to know that people will entertain you but they won't teach you, and they won't warn you, they won't teach you, they won't motivate you, they will just entertain you while you're being destroyed. And we have too many content creators that entertain people and teach them nothing, right, about life and things like that, and they're entertaining people while they're being destroyed by society, by humanity, by economics, right, by cultures, by just governments, right. So a lot of people are entertaining, but they're not teaching at the same time. All right. So we got 1 cent 310, down a little bit here, and 73 million on market cap here, 5.5 billion, 4 million in volume, which is really nothing there. Volume is bear market volume right now. Okay, so not much going on in this community right now. All right, so we have 21 cents here on Luna. We're at 0.27, 152 million on market cap, 15 million in volume. We're in the green today though. And yeah, so I wish they could just turn on the minting back on this one, and mint to a billion tokens and buy back and burn USTC. USTC would skyrocket if that happened. If we minted another 291 million tokens here, right? And then bought back and burned USTC with it. USTC would be we would remove tons of USTC from circulation here, and yeah, and we would absolutely be ready for repegging. USDC would be repegging and right in front of our eyes if we did that. All right. That's not gonna happen though. I mean, they did mint this thing, but they didn't mint to buy back and burn USDC. They meant for something else. They meant to get some cash for maybe to themselves or maybe to pay off some stuff. I don't know what they meant it for. Nobody has even told us what was all that minting for. Before TFL left, what was all that minting for? Did they meant to cash out on themselves, or did they meant to maybe pay people in that that work for them or whatever it was? I'm not sure what that all that minting was. Does anybody know all that minting that happened with Luna before TFL shut everything down? Where did that money go? What did they do with that money? They paid the lawyers with it or something? Let us know, okay? Because they should have done what was should have they should have done what was everybody wanted them to do, which was mint and buy back and burn USTC and repeg it. And then Luna would freaking skyrocket into the freaking 20, 30, 40, $50, $100 and stuff. And then you got all the money to pay back the SEC, and you got all the money to freaking go out and get yourself a yacht and Bugattis and Lamborghinis and live out in Monaco and chill. Um, but whatever, they didn't want to do that. But you know, I would I want to be I want to see what people would say if somebody put a proposal to start reminting LUNC to buy back and burn USTC. That is an option that we could do right now. To if you really want to repeg, that's what we would do. Right? If this community really wanted to repeg, then there's several easy choices that we could do. We could we could uh we could freeze the circulating supply to 1 billion, right, by doing a proposal, and we would have to do a upgrade in the of course in the whole blockchain would have to upgrade, and then we would freeze the assets of USTC except for 1 billion tokens, right, and then we would have to unfreeze 5% every month until so people can get some of their tokens back until 100%, right? That's something we could do right now as well, right? And that would help USDC explode to the upside, and you will still get your staking rewards in USDC, but now you're getting them at way higher value. That's one way that we could do it, right? Or we could just mint. We could mint Luna, right? And Luna 2.0, we could start minting that again, and we could actually buy back and burn USTC, right? And until USDC's repeg all the way up, or we can just remint. Start. We can turn on the minting on LUNC and and start minting LUNC to buy back and burn USDC. We should have done that in the first place 2 3 years ago. We should have done that when LUNC was at a 1.5 billion market cap and Luna and USDC was sitting there at 1 or 2 cents. We could have just done that then, right? We were minting then as well. Some of the stuff was minting. We could have just minted then and minted and bought back, minted LUNC and bought back USTC. We said we missed a grand. Remember when we turned off the mint? I said we missed a grand opportunity to mint USTC, mint LUNC and buy back and burn USTC to 1 billion. Why didn't we do that? And that's when we knew that we had enemies on the chain, because that was so easy to do, to figure out that we should have done that. And the fact that these guys didn't do that, that's when we started realizing that there's enemies on the chain, and they're not here to repeg USDC. They're not here to prosper LUNC. They're here to actually destroy it. That's when we knew that, because anybody with common sense would have used the minting at 1.5 billion on market and would have just bought back and burned USDC back to 1 billion and paid off the debt. Now USDC is sitting there at 30, 40, 50 cents or higher, and now LUNC is skyrocketing. But they didn't want to do that because they were enemies of the chain, and so they knew that. So they voted to turn off the mint and allow USTC to stay in that big debt that it had. And then then they turned on staking so they can start dumping and dumping the USTC to hurt LUNC and as well. So and keep LUNC down as well. And then I figured that out, and then they started hating on me, because before they weren't hating on me until I figured out that these people were enemies of the chain, and then that's exactly what they were doing, and that and then the key to all of this was USTC. That's why they didn't want to mint USTC. I mean, that's why they didn't want to mint LUNC to buy back and burn USTC. They knew they did that, LUNC would have skyrocketed with Luna 2.0. If you really want to repeg in April and May, all you have to do is either one of those three things. Either you freeze the circulating supplies of USTC to 1 billion, and then you can still issue the staking rewards through the Oracle pool, right? Because they're not going to be frozen, right? And then you release those tokens slowly at 5% a month until they're back to 100%, right? You can do that. That's one way. You can restart reminting Luna 2.0, because there's not. I mean, it's a dead coin right now until USDC repegs. So you can start minting that again slowly and start every week buying back and burning USDC until it repegs, or you can just you can put a proposal up here to start minting Luna Classic, while it has 300 million in volume and value, and you can buy back and burn USTC for repay purposes, right? So those are three options that we could do right now to repeg USTC if the community actually wanted to repeg, right? So the community will make every excuse that these things are dumb because they don't want to repay everything that the community has decided to do for USTC repay. The validators and the people who hate this community and are secret enemies chain have said it was a stupid idea, right? Because every idea is stupid to those who actually hate the chain, that want to see it that don't want to see it prosper. Okay, so those are three simple ideas right there that we could do, right? Just turn the minting back on and buy back and burn USDC, right? And you can do it slow and steady. You don't have to turn it on all the way up that it crashes LUNC, but you can turn it on to where it's slow and steady mint like Luna was doing last year, when they were minting slow and steady, where the price was actually gaining value while they were minting, right? So you can do it something like that where the price is still gaining value while we're minting tokens, right? The one on you mint on green days, right? The price goes up, you mint a couple of millions of tokens, and then you buy back and burn USTC, and then you burn it. That's what we should be doing, right? That's what we should be doing if we really wanted to repeg USTC and bring it up to a good value. So then Luna and LUNC skyrocket. Luna and LUNC are not skyrocketing because USTC has no value. Luna did not make a move to $100 for the 9,000th time until UST was staked. Was a stable coin that was able to be staked at 20%, and the community figured out, Doquan also, and the community and the devs figured out that we could stake UST at 20%, take those staking rewards and dump them in the Luna. And that's exactly what they did. Why hasn't anybody else done the same thing? I don't know. Why hasn't the Theta community done this? I don't know. Why hasn't Shiba Inu community done this? I don't know. We can stake Bone at 5, 4, 5, 6%, whatever it is. Why aren't we taking our Bone tokens and pumping it into Shiba Inu? Because a lot of people aren't staking Bone, right? If the Shiba Inu community was staking Bone like I told them to, right, and taking their tokens and either burning Bone, so significantly reduces the supply of Bone, so it can have way more value and get the $80 or $200 quick as possible, and then you cash out and then dump it in the ship, or take your rewards in Bone and constantly be buying Shiba Inu every month, and that didn't happen, right? So, and then what about these other communities that don't have another coin, that they could just create another coin and use that coin to pump their other coin, right? Like a Vote Inu and others. Like you can create other tokens or even a stable coin inside of your ecosystem that that you can mint, and that's backed by basically the dollar, but it's really backed by nothing, right? And you can use it to pump your actual first gen token, right? Cryptos allow you to create things out of thin air, and allow you to create and to have free money, right? So create free money for yourself as well through staking, divvy payouts, airdrops. You could airdrop on a monthly basis another token, a different token, and then people could use that token to buy up more of the first token, right? So these are stuff that people could do at any moment, and the fact that like people are like stuck when crypto gives you all this imaginary, you can use your mind to imagine anything you want in crypto, and people are just like, I give up. Like they just brain fart and they just give up, right? When so the more opportunities you have in cryptos, the more people giving up, right? And cryptos are really simple stuff to create a lot of easy money for yourself, and people just they rather just give up instead. It's crazy. But those are three simple things that we could do to repeg USDC in April, May, and reach our timeline here. It wouldn't take long. It would take 30 days to mint USTC, to repeg USDC if we turn the mint back on LUNC and Luna. If we turn them back on and we do 50-50 on both, USDC will be repegged in April. So I mean, or we could just freeze the circulating supply, and there's your repeg right there, instant repeg right there, right? We got 1 billion tokens now, and the other tokens are frozen, and then we issue them back every 30 days. You issue 5% of the frozen circulating supply back to the issuer. It's not that hard, folks. I mean, it's really not hard, but It is what it is. All right, so it's only hard if you hate the chain. I mean, if you're an enemy of the chain, then it's really then it is hard, right? But here's compensation. This one is going to be close because of this right here. If this hits 30%, then it's over. And this one right here looks like it's going to pass, but it has to get through a threshold. And this one here right now is failing. All right, let's go over here. 18 million and Burns, 13,000 in Burns today, and then we have 18.88% stake supply, 1,032,000,000, and then Oracle pool continues here to the downside. Of course, community pool is steady as we go, and then stats we lost 712 there, and people are burning LUNC, and people are burning. Somebody's burning USTC. Nice, 455 there. These guys added 2 billion tokens. Nice. And then Community First lost 2 billion tokens. Okay. And looks like they did a nice little swap there. 32 validators missed signatures here. These guys are at the top again. And the validators are very much the same until we get to the sweet spot here. But like I said before, if the community wants to actually repeg, those are three easy select decisions that we could do at the repeg this thing. And the Luna 2.0 community hates our guts, so they probably are not going to do that because I was screaming for them to do that last year. They refused to. So we most likely and people don't, and a lot of people are not going to like their tokens frozen on the day that they bought, even though they're going to have a chance to, if the proposal went live, they would just have to, all they have to do is to swap their USDC for LUNC if they don't want their tokens in circulation frozen. You know what I mean? It'll be that simple. But the one that people will probably go, you know what, maybe we should open back the minting on LUNC here and mint slow and steady here for the next, maybe 60 days and repeg USTC. I think that's more logical one here. For most people, it's the easiest one to just at when we're in the green days, we mint, right? We only mint in the green days though. We don't mint in the red days. So we were up 3, 4, 5%, mint a couple million tokens, buy back and burn USTC, right? And take advantage of the markets. The markets are going to be bullish in April, which most people think they are, right? Then you know what I mean, because quantitative tightening is ending, is coming to an end here, and then quantitative easing is coming, and rate cuts are coming. So we can take advantage of that by when LUNC is up 5, 6, 7%. We mint some millions of LUNC, and then we buy back and burn USTC. I mean, it's that simple if we really want to repay. But if we don't want to repay, we're going to make every excuse not to do things that are very simple. But it is what it is. Peace out. God bless. I'll see you guys next week.